What's up, guys? We're back with another episode of Strikes and Strangles. Today we're just going to do a quick recap on UFC 299.
First fight that we're going to go over is Kevin Holland versus Michael Venom Page.
Yeah.
Michael Venom Page finally making his UFC debut. I think it's probably 5 years too late. I mean, he's a phenomenal athlete, and the highlight reels that he's done in the past is absolutely insane. The big question this week was, is he going to be good enough? What is the difference between a Bellator athlete and a UFC athlete? Kevin Holland even alluded to that when he said, we all know, you know, we know, something along those lines at the press conference. But
Yeah. So it's an interesting one. I mean, if you watch MMA and you don't know who MVP is, I'm going to say it straight up, you're a casual.
I'm straight.
It was when it was announced that he's coming and fighting Kevin Holland, I thought, wow, that's going to be the best fight for him to come and show a bit of his skills. Just judging on the fight, I don't think he had his best performance, but he had a good performance, and he did what was needed. And now we've got another exciting striker in the, I think it's welterweight division.
Yeah, so I think MVP with that classic style, hands down, that little blitz, karate blitz in and out, it's just insane. The way he was able to just land that right hand on repeat, those spinning elbows that he was throwing, that body kick that was landing, he did very well. I mean, Kevin Holland did well to clinch him on the fence, got a couple of takedowns, landed some big shots there, but at the end of the day, MVP just looked like he was 2 steps ahead the whole time.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, it's a good scoreline. No discredit to Kevin Holland. He did put up a good fight, 29-28, unanimous. It's a close fight, and I think that's fair. That shows us the level that MVP does fight at, and I think it's a good starting point for him to be in the UFC. So yeah, pretty happy with that one.
Yeah, you know what, obviously, thank you for having me. Thank you for welcoming me. I feel at home here. It wasn't my best performance. He's a tough guy, but it wasn't my best performance. So I just want to let everyone know that there's a lot more to come. I can be so much better, and that means it's very dangerous.
Who's next for MVP? Who do you want to see him against?
Ooh, you know who's a really good fight for MVP? Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. But I don't see Thompson taking that fight. Just because it doesn't make sense for him running for the title, but that would be a great fight. And then, secondly, Ian the Cup Gary.
Okay.
Fucking hell, that's a good fight.
That could be a very good fight.
And I actually think Venom gets it done in that one. I don't see Ian winning that at all. Ian's definitely going to have to wrestle. And it's a good test to see what kind of level is MVP's wrestling at. So for me, that's probably the next fight.
Yeah, all 3 of those options I think would be phenomenal if we could get those done. Dana, please. Answer, please.
3. That's what I had 2. I had Wonderboy and Ian.
Oh, okay, 2.
Who's the other one?
Sorry, I think. I'd like to see the Leon Edwards fight, but he needs to do some work first.
You know what could be fun? Bilal. We'll leave Bilal in as your third one.
Actually, let's do the Bilal fight so we can just get him out of the picture completely.
Okay, then next we had Dustin
Poirier.
Dustin.
Yes,
that's what a fight. Just touching on that before we started, I was asked by some of the teammates last night, how do I think that's going to go? Without hesitation, I said Dustin's got that. And good fight. What's his opponent's name?
Benoit Saint Denis, I think it is.
Yeah, so I can't say it. French guy. That guy's very good. I loved his pressure in the first round, and his grappling was on point. Dustin going with those jumping guillotines again, they don't work.
Yeah,
is what it is.
Even Matt Brown in between the rounds also told him, stop the guillotine, stop jumping that. And then he still did it again. It's like, what?
And in the post-fight interview, he said he'll never stop doing it. But Denise coming with that pressure quite nicely. I think Dustin showed the gap in his game, which is the striking. So if you can land big shots on him, his defense isn't that good. His head's not moving, and he's eating the shots. He's not really throwing that many of his own. He's just kind of crashing the space and getting into the clinch on the grappling.
Look, from what I saw, it looked like Denis was all over Poirier, taking his back, wrestling him, clinching him. he was all over him. But Dustin Poirier in a dogfight, that's where your money has to be. As soon as it
100%.
becomes you want to see who's the bigger dog, it's always going to be Dustin Poirier. It doesn't matter who's in the cage with him. He's the big dog.
Diamonds are made under pressure. And he was under a lot of pressure, definitely lost that first round and then pulled it back in the second to get, I would say, another highlight reel knockout.
Definitely.
So flipping good fight. We'll see what's next for Denise.
Poirier.
No. For Denis, I'd like to see him start fighting maybe 8, 9, 10 ranked Oaks. And then slowly making his way up. I think he'll probably be in title contention pretty soon. I'd give it 4 or 5 fights, convincing wins, and then he'll be there.
So we had the picture in the middleweight division where Robert Whittaker was the gatekeeper. Is it safe to say now that while Dustin Poirier is still around, he's going to be the gatekeeper? Because if we look at the lightweight division, we've got Islam as the champion. Gaethje is matched up with Holloway for the BMF belt, so that takes them out of the picture. Charles the Bronx probably going to get the next title shot there.
Yeah, but look, I think Dustin also deserves it. I think off a performance like that, you could put Islam to defend up against any one of those 3.
I think Islam will have to defend against Gaethje before Dustin, just based off of Gaethje's knockout. But yeah, it's very interesting to see what's happening in the lightweight division now.
Yeah, look, I'm interested to see what happens there because, I mean, they're talking about Islam fighting to Poirier. Islam needs to defend up against a lightweight, and he needs to defend up against one of the ranked. Even if it's not Charles, because we've seen that, I get that. But, I mean, the top 4 Oaks are all killers. You can put him up against him. He'll probably do well, but I'd like to see him in a scrap where the guy can do a bit of takedown defense and throw some damage. I think he caught Charles off guard with that strike and then ended it quickly. Very well done. But I don't think it goes like that in the second fight. So any one of those 3, that's a good fight to put on, in my opinion.
Awesome. Okay, and then moving on to the main event, we had Sugar Sean O'Malley up against Marlon Chito Vera. And Sugar Sean's only loss, was it fluke? Was it not? You know, the Sugar Sean Athletic Commission overturned it. And I think after last night's performance, rightfully so. I mean, who expected that dominance?
Again, we were chatting about it last night at your fight event. And again, no question, I said Sean's going to win. I said, Chito beat him the last time, but if you actually watched the fight, you would have seen Sean was definitely landing more, and then unfortunately he got injured. And Sean put a stamp on it today. He showed he outclassed Vera by quite a bit. I would have liked to see more from Vera, but I think Sean's confidence is just absolutely killer. He was dialed in and his accuracy is insane. A big part for me is how Sean switches into southpaw and orthodox while throwing strikes seamlessly. I think it's very hard to get a read on, and he can change the angles very quickly and get himself out of trouble.
His footwork and his lateral movement, just staying on the outside, is absolute sniper. That knee, I don't know how Viveris managed to keep going after that knee. But I mean, the judges scorecard 50-45, 50-45, and 50-44. Masterclass.
Yeah.
There's no doubt that Sean O'Malley is
definitely. I think with that performance, I think he will be champ for a while. Obviously, I think he's going to defend against Merab next. I don't see him fighting Taporia. That's a stupid fight. He's going to get knocked out. So I'd like... No, he will. There's no questions. So I'd like to see him defend against Merab and see if Merab can actually get close enough to get the takedown and control him a bit. But we'll see. I think it's a good fight. Yeah. Just touching on that, me saying he's not going to fight Taporia, he gets knocked out. Taporia is bigger. He cuts down to featherweight. He's a pure boxer, and he's got that explosiveness. And he's not going to be slower than Sean. His hands are quick, and he's got the power. Sean does get hit, specifically when in the later rounds when he stops moving so much. So if it goes that far, Taporia not Sean out. I don't see it happening any other way.
I think that would be a firefight. I mean, Taporia's striking is next level. He's also got the massive ground game as well. Yes, he's got a very boxing favoring stance. So early on, maybe Sean can try and pick him apart from the outside. But we saw again with Taporia, he doesn't mind taking one or two so he can land one. And rightfully so, as you said, if he just lands that one, it's going to be good night Irene again. We're going to see Sean looking just like Volk did.
100%. So it's a nice one to think about, like in an alternate dimension or universe, but I don't think that should happen now. It is a big money fight, but if Sean wants to chase records and be a champ for a long time, he does not take a fight. That would be stupid.
And I think Drickus actually said that on Cameron's podcast the other day. Going for the double champ status, there needs to be like a qualification criteria. And Drickus mentioned that you need to have defended your belt in your weight class at least twice.
I think that's
Sean's
fair.
done it once. Let's see the Marab fight. If you get that done, then maybe we can start looking at the Taporia. But yeah, well done to Sean. Great performance.
Yeah, so that's a little bit of a recap of UFC 299. You can check the results for the other ones, but those last three fights were absolute fire, and yeah, that's our take on it.
UFC 300 next is going to be very tough to beat.
Well, I mean, you still got a few fight nights in between, but you know, everyone's not happy with the UFC 300 card. I think I am happy, except for the main event. If the main event was something else, I think I would be happy. But the rest of the fights in the card are fire. I think UFC are definitely spoiling us this year. So yeah,
Awesome.
okay.
Until next time.
Sweet.